Hey everyone, I decided it might be a really good idea to do a series of videos on how you can use video for your coaching business. So if you're a coach or you're a consultant, stay tuned because I'm going to do a series of these, a whole set of these, but today what I'm going to talk about is one of the easiest kinds of videos that you can make and also one of the most effective, which is a testimonial video. Now, why testimonials are easy is because you're not in the camera. Like you're not going to be in the video. It's going to be you shooting a video of someone else, which is really easy. Or it's a lot easier than actually getting in front of the lens yourself. So the other thing that you can do is that whenever you're working with a client, if you just get off a really successful session with someone, that's a really good time to just take a moment and say, hey, would you mind if we did a testimonial video right now, and you can talk about your experience. And sort of in that moment when they're feeling they just got some really great result, it's a really good time for them to tell their story. And then the other thing I'll say about testimonials is that it's probably the most powerful thing that you can do with video. And that's because you're not telling the story, someone else is telling the story. And so like you can go on, as often as you want and talk about yourself and the work you do and the results people get when they work with you, but it's not nearly as effective as when someone else does that for you. So this is the real reason why you want to be thinking about making testimonial video. So the first thing, if you're going to go ahead and say, okay, sure, I'll go do this, is you actually want to look for the story that the person can tell. And that story isn't going to be about you. It's going to be about them and their results. And that's the story that we all want to see. It's the story that we all want to hear. We want to hear the hero's journey of somebody who had a problem and they were struggling and they met a challenge and they overcame it and then they had a big triumph. That has a happy ending. And those are the kind of stories that we like and the stories that we'll pay attention to. What you do when you're setting up with somebody in a testimonial video is that the first part is you turn the camera on, you hit the record button, and you start warming them up. And the easiest thing to do in the beginning is just to get them to talk about themselves and anything to do with their own personal story, just to get them used to speaking in normal conversational voice so they won't be all wooden and frozen. And then as soon as you get them to a place where they're feeling natural and relaxed and you're nodding and smiling with everything they say, then you can start asking them the questions which will get them to tell this story arc and this narrative of what they've done while they've been working with you. I have a set of questions that I always ask. And in the beginning, you just want to start with their before. So you say, hey, can you describe your situation before you did the thing that you were going to do? That's a very good baseline starting point. And then you can say, okay, so how did you come to the decision of doing this thing that you decided to do? Like, what was that decision-making process like? And get them to talk about that and just say kind of things like, what were you thinking and how were you feeling when you were, in this place? And those, especially the emotional side, is really, really important. And then after they've described that, then say, okay, so you've made this choice, what was the moment, or was there a moment when you were in this process where you realized that you were starting to get the results that you were looking for? What did that moment look like? And then following that, you can say, okay, and now can you describe some of the changes that you've gone through, or the changes that happened to you, or whatever the difference between where they were before and where they were now, and get them to talk about that shift. And really what you're looking for is the transformation. Then ask them, well, is there anything else that you'd like to say to people who are listening to you about this work that you've done? And this is probably one of the questions where you'll get the most heartfelt response from the person who you're talking to. And if you do these questions, in order, you'll really nurture and pull out a very nice storyline that people, will be saying and be talking about you. And then you can take that video and edit it down into short little bullets and turn that into a really nice testimonial for you. Now, if you are interested in really getting this down and learning how to do testimonial videos well, I have a resource for you, which is an actual training, a full-on training with several videos that show examples, different examples of videos, and then all the things from the setup of how do you get your camera set up and your sound and your audio, just using your smartphone to do this, and then the actual questions with more detail of like, here's the question to ask, here's the thing to look for, and here are the follow-ups. So if you're interested in that, just in the comments down below, say, I want the questions, or write just the word testimonial. And if you've gotten a nugget of something out of this video and you're watching, just put hashtag aha, and then in the comment, write whatever it was that you got from this video, because that helps me, it gives me feedback. And as I said, I'm going to be doing a whole series on ways that you can use video for your coaching business. So stay tuned for the next video in this series. And if you want to make sure that you never miss one, then say so in the comments or reach out and connect with me, and I'll make sure that you will never, ever miss one of these videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. The next video I'm going to talk about is using video at a live event and how you can do video at live events that will help your coaching business. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next video.